What's going on, guys? Another lovely episode of Off the Menu. I am here with Mr. Paul Hekimian himself, entrepreneur, self-starter, serial entrepreneur. I mean, everything. Like, he is the man right here. Thank you so much for hanging, man. I appreciate it.
Absolutely. I'm glad I'm part of it. Let's mix it up today.
For sure, definitely. Thank you. Here in Santa Monica, I am here with Mr. Paul Hekimian, entrepreneur, self-starter. Matter of fact, I'll say a serial entrepreneur, and we'll get into all that momentarily. But thank you so much for having me, man. I appreciate you, and let me into your lovely abode as well.
Awesome. Glad you made it out in sunny Southern California.
Beautiful sunny weather here, energizing me. So I'm very thankful and grateful, man. I appreciate you. But yeah, I'm here and I would love to get your story. That's what we're here for, Off the Menu. So if you don't mind, walk us through a little bit of who Paul is, from a child up until now.
Oh, wow. Okay. Are you guys ready for this? Well, I'm a transplant from Houston, Texas. I'm a twin. I have 3 other brothers, so there's 4 boys growing up in Texas. My dad was a beekeeper, hence the bees, and that's why we're here today to put on a suit and get in real close with the bees. But outside of that, I just at a young age I just learned to be an entrepreneur. Moved out to California to pursue acting and did a little bit in the career of that way, but I felt like I was more, started off as being more of a serial entrepreneur. I started multiple companies, one of which is a cheesecake company.
Cheesecake. I could have some cheesecake right now, I'll tell you that.
And it's funny because I was making cheesecakes way back in the early 90s. And it just grew because I knew a lot of publicists and I was able to get my cheesecakes into a lot of celebrities' hands. And so it just really just took off like wildflower. I was selling cheesecakes to Frank Sinatra, Michael Caine, James Earl Jones.
Straight legends.
I mean, we're talking about the cream of the crop of the A-listers in Hollywood. And that was fun. I did that for a long time. I ended up selling that company. And then I got into doing triathlons, swimming, biking, and running. And I started the LA Tri Club, which is a large triathlon club. And we swim, bike, and run. And we provide services for triathletes. In fact, this morning we were in the ocean swimming at 6:30 in the morning with 200 of my closest friends.
The level of strength that you are showing to me right now is a different. 6:30 in the morning, the water. I don't know. I'm an early guy, but it's a little early for me for the water at least.
Yeah, no, we were serving coffee and donuts afterwards. It's great. Yeah. It's just a good community thing, and that's what the Tri Club is all about. Mm-hmm. We change lives. People people think they can't do a triathlon. Well, I'm here to tell you anyone can do a triathlon. So I definitely recommend reaching out to your local Tri Club and trying a triathlon because I know you can do it, Deon. I know you can.
I have a lot of energy, and now you're giving me that energy as well to definitely try it out as well.
So swimming, biking, and running. So that's one business that I have. I'm also in the bikini business. Mm-hmm. I represent Bondi, Australia. We have 4 main bikini lines, all of which I manage here in the U.S. I have a showroom right here in Santa Monica. And then outside of that, I do beekeeping. So as I say, it's bees, bikinis, and beach-bound triathletes.
Wow. Triple B.
Triple B. Damn.
Triple B.
And so that's and it was funny because like I said, my dad was a beekeeper. Mm-hmm. In the back in the late middle 80s when I was in high school, and that's where I really learned how to care for bees. And then fast forward, moving out to California and having a family. I have 2 boys. My son was playing in the tree that was right here in the backyard and found a big open air hive. Oof. And then I thought to myself,
hopefully he didn't get stung.
No. He says, "Hey, Dad, there's a beehive in the backyard." And I was like, "Oh my gosh, this was meant to be." No pun intended.
Yeah, no pun intended. I like
that. So then,
full circle.
We were able to rescue the bees, and through the nonprofit called Honey Love, which is an urban beekeeping. I'm a director now of Honey Love, and we rescue bees. We educate the public that bees are safe. And we teach others how to become beekeepers, and that's where it started all over again. So fast forward 30 years, I'm a beekeeper all over again. And so it's almost serendipitous because, it's kind of like, as they say, you follow your parents' footsteps.
That's right.
And it's funny because, when you're a kid, you're thinking, yeah, I'll never do it. I'll never do it. Then, now you look at yourself and you look in the mirror and you're going,
they were right.
They're right. You're just like your parents, So, I'm always, doing, always got a side hustle. My dad was an entrepreneur. My whole family was entrepreneurs. And so I just didn't know a difference. I didn't know, that you had to go work for somebody. I was like, no, you can create your own path. And so, that's what I believe that anyone can do. I have a positive attitude.
Yes.
Having a great attitude, visualizing success, visualizing what you want to do. In fact, I coined and I actually bought the domain when I was doing a lot of public speaking, but I bought the domain Positive.
Positive, I like that.
Positive, yeah. And so...
and it fits too, because the moment I walked into your home, actually before that, you saw us outside.
Yeah.
You exuded so much energy, authentically, genuine energy, that I know that's not something that you can just take on. Like, that's a natural just energy that you just have.
Yeah. Listen, I think that you learn it, and I think that, and I really believe in visualization, because what you visualize will materialize, right? And if you can just keep that, and I try to explain that to young kids with a positive attitude. Visualizing what you want in your life. And I kid you not, I'm proof of the pudding here. I've literally visualized everything that's in my life today. Literally, from everything. It just, when I'm moving into something new, I'm visualizing it. And the thing that I've been visualizing the last few years was taking my showroom that's here with the bikinis and turning it into a real store. So I've been visualizing what would that actually look like if I opened the front door and started selling the bikinis, even though it's a private showroom, but I have the space. So now I'm going to get into the women's retail swim space and start selling our swimsuits literally at the front door.
I want you to tap into that a little bit more, visualization. How important is that in terms of success, whatever that is for anybody, relative, right? But how important is it to visualize an idea into fruition to a business?
I think it's the key ingredient. I mean, it's just like, if you can just, in your head, if you can just keep that vision, it's like a storyboard, right? That's why people use those visual boards, because what you see is it'll start to manifest in your life. You're going to start surrounding yourself with like-minded individuals to get you to where you want to go. So if I want to, get into triathlon, well, I'm going to go join the local tri club, and that's what I did. In fact, I joined the local tri club when it was very small, and I kept going, wow, I could do so much more. I really love this energy in this sport. Everybody has a positive attitude. They're motivated. We have billionaires in our club. It's crazy. It's like, it's the who of LA. It's the A-type personality, right? So if you can visualize what you want and just keep that focus going all the time, then you're going to manifest it in your life. It's just things are going to, they say luck is where preparedness meets opportunity. Absolutely. Right? I'm not lucky. I'm just prepared. And the opportunity is always presenting itself to me. And that's just, I live by that. So I just, if everyone can just take that little tidbit of visualization and go with it, I think they'll just, with a positive attitude.
Absolutely. Positivity.
Positive attitude. That's right. Have a positive attitude.
Absolutely. So I want to kind of tie it all together, right? So Cheesecake, it sounds like, were you a foodie at all when you were growing up?
I wasn't. In fact, the Cheesecake started because I just kept, it was a friend of the family. Her mother made the cheesecake. And so we kept asking her, can you make us a cheesecake? Because we love, they were so good. She goes, look, it's the old adage. I'm not going to teach you how to, I'm not going to teach you how to make it, but I'm going to teach you how to fish, right? What's that adage? I don't know how you say it.
Yeah, something along those lines, right?
Yeah. I'm not going to teach you how, but I'm going to, if you teach them how to do it, then you're good. So anyway,
you can feed a village.
That's right. Yeah, and we did. Yeah. So during the holidays, my brother and I would just make cheesecakes and we'd sell them as a side hustle. Yeah. Fast forward, in LA, I was working at a law firm. I was making the cheesecakes for everybody. And they said, Paul, you should try selling these. These are amazing. I walked into Gelson's in Century City and I gave them a slice of cheesecake and they placed an order on the spot. She goes, yep, I'll take 5. And I was like, oh my gosh, what do I do?
It's the beginning of a new...
Yeah, and it literally started right from that moment on. I bought an extra oven in my house. I just started, I got lucky and got a commercial kitchen. Not lucky, I was prepared. It was there, I was prepared. Yep. I got a commercial kitchen, I got a health permit, I got the cheesecake van, all the big equipment, the mixers, and before you know it, I was up and running and had a pretty successful cheesecake business. Beautiful. And then I knew a lot of publicists because I was working at Rogers & Cowan back when Henry Rogers and Warren Cowan were there, so I had some really good mentors, and I knew all the publicists, and I said, hey, let me take my cheesecake and send them to all your clients. And sure enough, I did. And Jackie Collins, the writer, she was one of my best clients forever. She was a doll. She would order them every week. Yeah. And so that's how it exploded within that community. I was on TV. It just took off.
It also sounds like not only were you prepared, but you put yourself out there. That's a big thing for people as well too, right? Like you can't just create something. You have to put yourself out there. And like you said, the vision, you probably visualize it, I'm assuming. And putting yourself out there was, I think, another key ingredient as well for people who are looking to start any business, right? Or any kind of success in their realm. I think it's to put yourself out there and be comfortable or become comfortable, I would say, You know
what I've become comfortable at? Failing. You got to fail to succeed, right? Every time I fail, I don't look at it as a negative. I look, okay, what can I do to fix it? What can I, how can I learn from that and make it better? And I think if you can if you can recognize your failures and move them into, a positive direction, I think that's the secret.
Absolutely.
Because I'm not afraid to fail because, at the end of the day, if you don't try, you will never win.
Never win.
And most people will just never try because they think in their head that they're going to fail. So they've already set themselves up for failure thinking, oh, they won't do it, I can't, won't, don't. They have all these negative thoughts in their head. Mm-hmm. So the biggest evil of everyone is themselves, right? You got to get past that, what if, in that mindset in your head, because you really got to say, well, what if?
What if, yeah.
What if, what if they said yes? God forbid.
Absolutely.
And so you have to ask, right? So, it's as simple as just asking sometimes and then taking what, and learning from that.
Absolutely, I love it. Yep. And then the cream of the crop, which is the bees. Like you said, you talked about it, your dad was a beekeeper himself. Talk about how it was to find that newfound, love, right? And then sharing with people as well, like the fun. That
listen, I love giving back. I know my wife shoots me because it's like, I just give. But, the more you give, the more you get. And that's the more positive that you get in society, the more you're going to get back. It's yin and yang, right? Absolutely. The more you give, the more you get. So if you're spewing negative energy, you're going to get it back. That's why I surround myself with positive people. So, getting involved with bees, I'm able to share what I love, the passion, about keeping bees. And we need bees, right? Absolutely. At the end of the day, we need bees. And I feel like I'm the Lorax of the bees, if you will, right? Because they need a voice. Absolutely. And they don't have a voice. And people, instead of, calling an exterminator to kill the bees, call a beekeeper to save the bees. I mean, God forbid you don't put poison on the thousands of dollars of honey and you kill a hive when you could, hire a beekeeper. Yep. One, it'll cost you less than an exterminator, and then what happens if there's thousands of pounds of honey in the hive? Then you get to keep all that. So at the end of the day, I just try to educate people that bees are very friendly, and you're going to see it today. We're going to suit up. We're going to be around bees. There's, what is it? 400,000 bees right over here to our left or right here.
Yep.
I mean, look, they're right there. Look, it's a
I see a few.
freeway.
Yeah, I see a few right there.
You just got to look up. They're here. So
we got Kurt looking like, oh man, what's going on?
Know, right? Like what? You know, we coexist with bees.
Yeah.
Bees in Los Angeles. I'm literally in the mix right now, starting a new company. Should we debut it right now?
Why not? Why not?
Okay. Picture this: Urban Honey Company.
Yes.
What is that? What is Urban Honey Company? Well, it's going to be my website, which is almost live. I'm prepping it right now. And it is going to be an aggregate of all the urban beekeepers in the U.S.
Yes.
And we're going to be selling their honey on a platform to sell local raw honey because there's no one doing it.
Yeah.
And when I mean no one, there's
Zero.
nobody. There's no one. And with my connections in the honey space today, I want to just provide that platform and give these small beekeepers, urban beekeepers, the ones that are literally keeping bees in their backyard. I want to sell that honey because that honey is better than buying any store-bought honey from anywhere around even a farmer's market. You go to a farmer's market, the local beekeepers there. Yep. It is local, it is raw, it is fresh, but it's not local like within a mile of your house.
Yep.
And so the bees that I have, the bees here in my backyard, the reason my neighbors and the neighbors in my zip code love this honey is because they are pollinating on the plants and the fruits and vegetables that are here in the neighborhood, and so it helps with the allergies here. Absolutely. So it's a better honey. It's the best of the best. Yep. And another secret is I'm a treatment-free beekeeper. And what does treatment-free mean? I don't treat my bees with chemicals. A lot of commercial beekeepers,
they do that.
They put this poison, this powder in the hives to kill the varroa mites. Yeah. I don't have that problem. Yeah. I only deal with feral bees. Feral bees are wild bees from the neighborhood. These bees came from the water meter out on my street, or the tree from the high school, or from off of a car. I've gotten them off the Santa Monica Pier at the food court. I mean, they landed on the table. I mean, I get them anywhere and everywhere. But these are feral bees. You take the bees that are locally already and you find them a new home, and then they produce really good honey in your backyard, and that's it. The cost of doing beekeeping is marginal. All you do is buy a bee box. Yep. In fact, you can buy a bee box and the bees will just move in.
Automatically.
Wow. You can bait it with like some lemongrass oil. Yeah. They like that smell. It'll bait them right in there. You don't have to do anything. So it's easy to become a beekeeper. And just the secret, I want to explain this. Being a beekeeper is managing the growth of the hive. Bees grow exponentially. The queen bee lays 1,500 eggs a day. And if she's laying that many eggs a day, and then all the worker bees only live 30 to 35 days, that means they got to produce. Yep. And they got to produce. So the hive starts off as a nucleus, a superorganism. A superorganism is an organism that thinks as one. So these bees, when they leave one hive and they go make a new hive, they swarm. That's a swarm that you see that everybody freaks out on, and you shouldn't, because their tummies are full of honey. They're just leaving the hive and going to a new location. So if they were swarming right now and there's 10,000 bees around us, they wouldn't hurt us at all. They would just go right through us. So the superorganism will land on a tree. I shake it into a box. I put the lid on it with some empty frames, and they do all the work. They do all the work.
It's nature.
It's nature, and that's why they're called worker bees.
Absolutely.
They work until they literally die, and then they fly away from the hive and die outside the hive. They don't even come back. So the hive is a very sterile environment. It's temperature regulated by them fanning. Once you get into bees and what they can actually do and how they do it and what they can create, it's mind-blowing. From propolis, which is bee glue that has 240 medicinal properties in it. It'll prevent you from getting sick if you gnaw on it. It's amazing. They make honey, obviously. That's bee food. They make royal jelly, which is what they feed all the bees and the queen. And they also make, what is it? Well, wax, right? Yeah, they make wax. They
I
secrete
just
it.
found out just a second ago that's
Yeah.
what makes all the lip balms.
The comb,
and
yeah,
stuff.
yeah. So you make lip balm. So these little creatures within I would say a 5-6 week period can do so much, so much. And the lifespan of a bee can only make like half a teaspoon of honey. So if you think about it, if I'm pulling off 35 pounds per box, 10 frames, that's a lot of bees, a lot of work. Yeah,
Absolutely.
a lot of work. So anyway, that's about. We're going to get into that.
Definitely.
Obviously, we're going to be up front and close, and we'll see all that in action as we go. And you can ask me 1,000 questions when we get into the bees.
I definitely will. Paul, thank you so much. Let's go into it, huh?
Yeah, let's do
Absolutely.
it. You want to get in it?
Let's do it.
You guys want to get into it?
Let's get into it, guys. Come
Let's
on.
go. Come
Off
on.
the menu.
Follow me.